Hello and welcome to today's session of My Life AI Open Development here in My Life. And My Life's aim is to put you and all of us in control of our AI experiences for our own private, personal, and collective well-being. It is with great sorrow in that I'm still not sure what the next series is going to be, but with great joy also, as my life will be almost immediately enhanced by the fruit of our ongoing, or once ongoing, DiaryBot series labor. So, this is the final installment of the DiaryBot series. Hooray! Unless there are so many errors that, as such, today we'll be pulling it all together and taking all of this DiaryBot intelligence creation, pipeline maneuvering, front end painting to its conclusion, and we're going to configure the DiaryBot onto the memory team as one of its potential default offerings. My Life is a 501c3 nonprofit member organization that offers its membership at no charge an intelligent AI-assisted platform that helps them collect and preserve their cherished memories, stories, media, and ideas for posterity as their digital legacy, their digital time capsule. My Life is not affiliated with any paid premium or freemium service. What you see is free, and what you see is what you get. Here are just a few of the use cases that we've been building towards with our initial functionality that we released with the alpha. If you're somebody lonely, perhaps in a retirement community, suffering from or worried about memory loss, or if you know somebody in this condition, my life will help capture their story. Or perhaps someone struggling to understand themselves, their identity, and how they want to show up in the world. Or maybe you know someone who is. My Life provides a safe and private sanctuary for such self-investigation and awareness. Maybe you're somebody in the military deployed to a remote location, or a veteran working through their memories. Or maybe you know someone who is. My Life provides a secure, supportive platform to document and share personal experiences. We offer tools for introspection, legacy building, and connection with loved ones. It's for all of us, built by us for us, and we are many and we are varied in our needs. So, how do we do this? Well, you've seen me log in before, so I'm not going to do it again. I've already logged in as myself. So this is the platform you get when you sign up for My Life. On the right-hand side, you have your avatar, which is essentially your digital self, who will conduct business for you and on your behalf. And the avatar is in control of a number of teams, one of which, the first of which, is called the memory team, the My Life memory team. When it starts, it's constructed of a biographer and a scrapbook. I've since added a journal uh, for alpha use. It's an optional element. So anyway, let's take a look at the biographer. When you're trying to tell your stories or share your memories, biographer is the bot on this team that will help you. You can name your bot, your biographer bot, and you can assign other options. Right now, we've started with the idea that you can tell it what subject matter you're interested in, but we can tailor these options in any way, shape, or form to inform dynamically the bot how to interact with you. So once you have selected your biographer, you can speak with it to tell a memory. So I've prepared today's memory, and so I'm going to share that with Madrigal. Madrigal is selected. Uh, and what I'm hoping is that the website is performing and that Madrigal will add this memory, today's memory, to my list of memories. It's been a little slow since this morning. So I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Mm. So while that's working, okay, that thing was in the way there, but let's take a look. Did I ask it to be saved as both morning? Double save. The daring double save. Gymnasts can do it, and so can My Life. So you can enter your memory and then it will store it in your scrapbook so that you have access to it. And there's a number of ways you can, from that standpoint, refine and tailor and enhance this memory. Obviously, you could do direct editing. I'm direct editing. I don't really feel like saving this necessarily. But that's one way. You can hit the save button. You can add emoticons to set a mood and to add mood to the metadata coming soon. As soon as we set the platform aside for this, it's very easy to do technologically. Media. So, of course, pictures, audio, video associated with this memory. Once you've selected the memory, or maybe you want to click on a prompt that pops up on the left-hand side, here's where I don't, well, actually, so what's happened now is that I have activated this memory. So anything that I discuss with Madrigal in this chat box at this point will be influenced or run through the filter of this active thing. So it will assume I'm talking about that. So I don't have to constantly represent that I am talking about this memory or a different memory. And this is another way for us to quickly select. Completion now, and it just couldn't be going better. So as I said, send that off. Up, network broke. So we will return to that in a second. But one other way that we can engage with a memory, that would just have added, had that worked, it would have just added the item to my bot. I think the issue for me, in any case, is that we're working on versioning, and I have an old version of the bot that doesn't know how to do a couple of things this new manner. Okay, but this is a very interesting mechanic, and where I'll move into our actual presentation about the diary bot today. You can relive your memories. It's as if it is that a third person is telling a story to you, like a parent or a spouse or a friend. You get to engage with it, and if you want to make changes or alterations, no, that's not true. You can just type them into this area and update your memory, and then it'll be updated as part of the summary now. And this one doesn't have the tutorial on, so I'm not going to show the tutorial today. Boo! No worries, we're going to get to see, in our instance, we're going to get to see in action the diary bot, and if we have time, I can run through the tutorial again. So today, we're going to, as I say, we're wrapping it up, we're pulling it all together. This is essentially the last leg of the diary bot series. So once we're done, we should have on that right-hand panel, in addition to our biographer, we should have the opportunity to add a diary bot. Okay, so we're, as usual, going to start with the GitHub repository. So I'm just moving over there. The one we're working with today is issue. This is everything that you'll see here in any of the code that I'm going to show you during the presentation of how we solved this last leg of adding the diary bot to a team, as you'll see here, is in the newest code base and has been uploaded as 347. So what do we need to do today? We need to essentially ensure that the diary bots have been given all of the tools that are required of them. And we need to ensure that the memory team also now knows about the diary bot. There are a few interface, kind of older interface items we're going to have to address, which I did behind the scenes again, and that'll be in code. It's not very interesting. It's just a drop down. You'll see, hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. So one of the things we want to talk today about, though, is the kind of theory behind teams and bots, because this is where the power of it all lays. This is where my life makes a difference. We're trying to give context to and shape to how we interact with these intelligences to get the kind of work that we need from ourselves in our volition accomplished. And having another set of intelligences guided and geared towards these purposes as a team is a very appropriate and we think effective way to go about it. Well, kind of on the, so maybe rather than a lesson learned today, I'm gonna just give a little bit of a lecture. I'm sorry to have to be the one to guarantee you that our digital lives are going to become much more complicated and fraught. Disinformation, intelligently designed disinformation, phantom scams using loved ones, tip of the iceberg. But the good news is that we'll be able to build just the right kind of intelligences and collections of intelligences that can bear with us, present us, and share this digital journey with us through this thicketed landscape as humans. I mean, web pages. I mean, how quaint, right? Like, I with intelligence intercepting a DOM, let's say, or an HTML page, you now can make all the modifications, alterations, talk about this information you want in an intelligent, dynamic, on-demand way. And in some ways, that's going to benefit us. And in some ways, would spell doom. This digital future experience of the web of information will be more of an immediate, intelligent, on-demand multimedia presentation of web scraped, captured data compiled with information bundles by a trusted source and presented to you, protected and a projector of our root digital experiences. And we're going to have something, an intelligence that does that for us. We need to learn to trust these good and close friends that are going to be abiding on everything is intelligent. A rant, and then I'll stop. Google or X, at least not in the way I mean here. We have to say no. Their end human beneficiaries represent a microscopic fraction of our totality and will be presented with the need to adjust our thinking to where we ally through consensual affinity with institutions rather than being subject alone to their control and dominion. And I don't listen to AI will disrupt capitalism. It's in this way that I agree with that statement. And in a way, that's what we're hoping to do here, is provide ourselves with some alternatives as to how we move forward into this increasingly complicated and intelligent digital world. Once the diary bot is a connected member of the memory team, we will then have demonstrated another aspect of how a member avatar fulfills its role as a protector of your data so that you're in control of how your data is shared. The member avatar is the key. The member avatar is what protects your data and projects the experiences of that data according to your consensual design. That's what this slide is beginning to try to articulate, that the member avatar has access to a number of core abilities and facilities, but at the end of the day, it's there to not only assist you in your digital experiences, but to project these memories and these concepts to others in a way that represents you with high level of fidelity, like tuning a station on Spotify. I mean, right now we have these protectors. Who are our protectors now? Who do you pay to service and maintain your data in the cloud and online? Is your data safe in their collection as they fervently train their own LLMs that are desperately hungry already for human volitioned content? Are they your best bet? Are they the primary controller we should choose? Or are we going to present ourselves with other options? Again, this is a prototype of a framework that can help us through just these sorts of issues and questions. Do I tell my diary bot all about this? Oh, boy, you wouldn't want to see the conversation threads. So let's actually do this. Let's connect the diary bot up as a team member. So somewhere already inside of my life, because of the work that we've done, there's the idea that the diary bot could be created. We've planted that seed, and now it's time to reap the harvest. We will begin by assigning the functions, both the common ones and unique ones like obscure, to the diary bot type in the personal factory. And then we assign the bot to the team or teams that can offer the core support for such an intelligence. Right now, it's just the memory team that we've set up at all, so it's the only one that can handle a data type like diary bot. So as you can see on the left-hand side, this is just a modular function where we assign the functions that are relevant, and these functions, again, we've already built. They're in the LLM provider section, and we saw it illustrated in the OpenAI GPT schema that we need several functionalities for this bot. We need it to be able to change its own title. When given an ID, we need it to be able to make an entry summary. We need to get a summary. We want it to obscure a passage. And we want it to be able to update its own summary, that which it has in common, of course, with the biographer bot as an example. Okay. So now that the team is configured and the instruction set has been input load these many sessions ago, we just need a way to essentially demand ourselves a new diary bot. Very simple? No? Well, yes and no, of course. I'm not a front-end designer. This is as good a time as any, as I will at the end, in asking out loud, and we're going to put a LinkedIn ask for this as well for some UI UX experience. I think we're ready to start applying. I know we're ready to start applying a few more faces to my life. So we need to demand this diary bot. We also need to leverage the calls to remove it, since it's an optional bot, and take advantage of its unique requirements to decouple from one LLM provider thread to another. That's for security reasons. So with the diary bot, we made the decision that we needed to afford members the opportunity to destroy one thread and create another with potentially a different provider. And that's, of course, where things get more complicated. I'm going to walk relatively swiftly past these gnarled roots, but all of the underlying code is available in the most recent update of the one of the branches. I can put it in the link. It's the branch that is most recently updated. So here we have the request from the front end to add a diary bot to the memory team. This was enabled through activating some latent team functionality, but of course it's your member avatar that picks up this request and determines the visibility of this bot in this particular context, and that's what's happening here. So on the page, we created some HTML last time, it must have been, that would allow a diary bot to be displayed. And so this is turning it on and asking the server to create the bot from the My Life avatar. Now, here we go. I need to talk about a couple. Now that bot is created, then that is created, and it will then demonstrate, and it will then show up in this bots. This.bots is one of member.js's or bots.mjs internal memory arrays. And the front end can declare its type. Let me just jump back. All right, okay. So the avatar picks up the request. Now we also, as I said, need to identify and institute. So theoretically, and again, I'll demonstrate all of this, but the diary bot should now be able to be created. So now what we need to do is perform this retire chat function, the privacy concern that I mentioned just a moment ago. So with that, we call a backend function called retire chat. So there's going to be a pretty little icon. Pretty little icon on the front end that's going to call the back end to retire the chat, at which point we run a pretty complicated routine that not only retires the chat in the LLM, but deletes the thread and saves, if requested, the conversation in a larger scheme, but does away with the previous information. So what it does do, however, is that this is the back end. Yes. And here's the back end receipt, which performs that action. And I want to focus on migrate chat, which double purposes in that it's also the most effective way to inject new wholesale dynamic instructions into a static context like an OpenAI thread currently. So essentially, we migrate from one thread to another. We retain a summary of what has happened previously, and we retain and infuse it. We don't retain, we infuse it with a list of items that have been created so that it has some context awareness of where it's been and can then use the get summary command to call the server. All right, so another function that we had to, because the diary bot is optional, you have to be able to fully remove and retire the bot as well. And so this is the front end. Again, similarly, there's going to be a retirement icon, and that, once triggered, is going to take you to the back end, where the bot is not only, here's the back end that performs it, removes all traces of the bot from both MyLife and the LLM, and it erases any accompanying threads, though they should erase through migrate even if it had been used, but it does erase any threads still related to that bot. So let's test it out. I admit I have tested this, and I destroyed all of Flip's, that's our test person, Flip's previous diaries, both organically in some cases and inorganically in others, meaning hit a delete button, just ripped it from the database, and others where I've used this function. But let's check this out. Did any of it work? Well, here's our thing. We are a member avatar who now lets you access a diary bot, and I mean it, a diary bot baby. All right. Here it is. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to log out. I'm going to go to my let me see if I can find my, oh, that's one thing I hadn't tested. Trying to find that particular web link. Okay, here we go. So now this is the local dev version. Pardon me. So this is the local dev version, and this is going to be version 25. So you'll see some differences here. All of this is in interest of both making what we're talking about possible, but also allowing for the yes, okay, but also allowing for the addition of the diary bot. Okay, so version 25. Here we are. We already have a diarist, a biographer for Flip. We now have this way of adding a team member. So select a team member. Because a diary bot is an optional member, I'm going to click diary bot, and boom, the diary bot was created and selected. I did break the naming thing here with one issue. That is a flagged issue. But let's say I want to call my diary Pooches. So, which is, one name for my dog is Pooches. And if I want to get started, it should be ready to go right away. So this is my diary bot that now I can, that's very nice. Okay. So it's going to tell me a little bit about how to get started. And again, these are the icons, because maybe I want to get rid of Turtle Dove here. We haven't talked that much. I'm not really feeling too close to Turtle Dove. So I can show you the example of removing the bot. It didn't actually do it on the server. I'd have to log in again, and then it would be gone. But this is now a diary bot. Your diary Pooches is now available for typing in entries. And rather than lead you through that whole thing, I'll just show you that that's true. Here are a list of entries. Here was today's. That there's also an icon issue. This is bird brain. So when you do an entry through your diary, you should be getting this icon. So then your entries get added, and you can perform a lot of the functions, most of the functions, including obscure entry, which I believe I demonstrated the other week. Yes. So obscure entry, in fact, will take out proper names, and that's something that's available to any of these entries now. So you have a functional, basic My Life diary bot. It's true, and it's going to be available. At least for demo in 25 or 26. I think the alpha team will have it thanks to our work here. So, and when I say our work here, I really do mean it. I mean, there are so many people that have helped make this possible, and it's been quite the joy to work with all of our volunteers. And the only problem with our volunteers is that they are too few in number. I want to give special thanks this week to Sheila, Russ, Steve, Ken, Avani, Lakshmi, Mark, Jesse, Jeff, Gina, and Chris. Next session. What are we going to do? I don't know. We're going to have to figure it out. I'm off next week. We have the wedding of some wonderful friends out of town. So next week is a pause for the My Life Dev sessions. But when we come back, what will we do? Here are some ideas. We could build another bot workshop, which is like bots but in custom fashion, where you can do more of the design yourself like you can in a GPT. Maybe we want a new bot team altogether, a legacy team that would be more like a time capsule functionality, a health team, a creative team, a career team. Any of these could be developed with their sub-bots in almost no time, with some work. Member avatar enhancements. It's inevitable. It's important. Is it exciting? I don't know. Personal avatars are going to be coming on the market. So one of the things we want to do with My Life is most certainly integrate with an external entity. And that will require work on everybody's part, but it might be where we go with that for the near term. Another possibility is experience creation. It's a new type of art. It's kind of something for everyone because it would give us a peek at how we would design our own memories for sharing with ourselves to relive or others to experience for the first time. How we can create that kind of front to back experience. The memory begins, there's a narrator and there are characters with that level of complexity, should you want it, self-designed when we get to it. My Life system agents, not too exciting either, but we have to deal with relationship managers, consent managers, asset managers for the media, speech to text. There's a lot to work on, and if any of that might be exciting, let us know. Let us know in the comments what your thinking is for next time, or in a way, volunteer. That's what we need the most. We need your help. Specifically, we're looking for someone to help us manage our volunteers. We're specifically looking for some UI UX experts, and can always use help with the webinar. So looking for a volunteer webinar coordinator. Fundraising. You can always go to our website, and at the top there are a couple methods by which you can donate. Please do follow us on LinkedIn. Follow the organization, because by following the organization, we can run these webinars through that account rather than my personal account. And of course, you're going to hear a lot about it coming up. We are opening our alpha registration. So alpha pilot applicants need apply. It's actually very simple. You don't need anything special or any special instructions right now, other than to go to our homepage at humanremembranceproject.org and tell Q, our corporate intelligence, register me. And Q will walk you through the process, and we'll be in contact with you about the alpha pilot itself. So, thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.